Cool.
Episode 2.
Episode 2. Wow.
I know. It seems so exciting, right?
What a whirlwind it's been.
Oh, yeah. Completely.
First of all, what are we drinking?
I'm eating gum. I just realized that right now. I'll put it on my can. It's Half Dome by Tiger Sequoia. That's the local brewery in Fresno. It's a great beer.
Mm-hmm.
I
would say, honestly...
We both had it already.
Yeah, I feel like most people in the Central Valley have had Half Dome. It's like the signature beer that you get from Tioga.
Yeah, it's like the one if you're like, hey, you know what? I don't like IPAs and I don't like stouts. Oh, the Half Dome. That and Gold 99.
I want something light. I want something a little fruity. Half Dome is that beer. It's a great summer beer, too. This is a great pool beer.
It is, yeah. It's perfect.
If it gets as hot as it does here in your summertime, this is a nice beer.
For sure.
Yes. First of all, would love to say so sorry about our last episode and the audio issues. At one point in the episode, it gets to where our voices no longer match up with our lips. Gonna try not to do that this time.
Gonna try.
We're a work in progress, you guys. Okay?
Yep.
We're trying. We're trying. But we will get better. If there's one thing we can promise that we will get better.
Yes.
So let's just kick it off. Random thought for the week. So we had a random thought.
Cheers, you bud.
Oh, okay, yeah. Cheers.
Oh, and it's like a congratulatory one. I tested negative for COVID.
Yeah.
Cool. Good.
Snaps. Congratulations. Very happy for you.
Nice, fun stuff.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, we're good.
We have a random thought that we are going to be talking about. Before we get into that, though, I want to talk about something that I saw on the news today.
Ooh.
And it's that monolith that they found in like the desert, and then it moved somewhere else.
I don't know if it moved or if they just had another person just like, oh, let's do it again.
But someone tweeted, and I couldn't tell you who because I was just scrolling and I chuckled at it, but they were like, this is probably just a rollout campaign for like a brand new burger at Burger King.
I saw someone say, can someone just end this stupid marketing campaign already?
And I was like, no, that makes a lot more sense than like people are like, it's aliens. And
as much as I want it to be.
I would love if that's what it was, but at the end of the day, it's probably like a Burger King commercial, you guys. So
Burger King commercial. It's a Joel pod.
It's like, it's going to be the most stupid thing, and we're all just going to be like, we got so hyped for nothing. So,
oh, yeah, completely.
Yeah. But into our actual random thought. So, Justin and I, like we said, have been very much homebodies during this whole entire time. We haven't really gone out. I think I've gone to back after March, maybe in summertime, I ventured out to one little get together with our friends. And since then, I don't think I've hung out with anybody. Other than this.
Yeah. No, I definitely I could have been better overall when it comes to certain things. Not that I was necessarily bad, hey, spit in my mouth or something, but because that's what I normally do.
So you're greeting, it's just in your mouth.
Exactly.
And your friends are like, hey, what's up,
man? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I do. I could have made better choices overall. I mean, me and my girlfriend will go out to date nights and stuff, but overall, that's pretty nasty.
I went on a date last night with my boyfriend, but I think what's been interesting to me is the parties, and I don't even mean small parties aren't great, but there's been actual 100 people parties,
Project X style,
I just read that Hanford had a rave with 700 people, and that was a week ago.
I'm just kidding.
I don't even understand how that's how.
No, that's insane. I mean, and that's the thing too, but I guess if you're gonna do it, go big, right? Go big or go home.
Just infect as many people as you can at that point.
You can't sell yourself
Don't
short.
stop at 10.
No,
go to 100.
I mean, that goes to show too. Even the small parties, like I said, I'm guilty of going to gatherings before. I'm taking a lot more. I'm taking it seriously the whole time. I've always been good at wearing a mask and sanitizing and personal hygiene in general. But those small parties, it's a small party till it isn't. Or it's a safe gathering till it isn't.
Yeah, so it takes one person to show up and not know that they have it, or know that they have it and they're just kind of fuck it, I'll wear my mask, and then they're not gonna wear the mask.
Yeah, or we'll all keep our distance, and then it's 10 shots later, someone's like hugging you. And
That's
you guys are
one
singing
thing
karaoke
that has
together.
been like, okay, I'm like, I get it. Like, you want to see your friends. I want to see my friends too. I haven't seen my friends in forever. But one thing that makes me cringe in almost every video that I've seen, and this has been from like so many multiple friend groups, so like I can't even pinpoint one, but like it'll be the start of the night. There's a few people hanging out. And then the next morning I wake up because I go to bed early, so I don't stay up for all of like the live Snapchats and IG stories. But the next morning, at some point, everything, all caution goes out the window, and I just see a bottle being passed around
Oh yeah.
the whole party. And it just makes me cringe, and it's like, pre-COVID, I totally would have drank out of that bottle. Post-COVID, even when COVID's gone, I will not be sharing bottles with anybody. I'm so sorry. You can pour it into a cup, but do not put your mouth on my drinks.
Yeah, that's gonna be a different thing. I mean, I was never a big bottle share person.
I mean, not at parties, but like with close friends. I'm like, yeah.
You know, it's the one thing that
it still grosses me out.
Especially because one of my favorite things at like small. You remember game nights at your apartment?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but one of my favorite games.
I threw really awesome game nights.
Yes, you did.
When I had my own place.
You did. That we had a lot of good game nights.
Okay.
They were always
I'm a great
good.
host.
Yes. King's Cup, like I miss King's Cup so much. I mean, I guess you could still do it like safely, like once everything's done, but
what you would have to like, what you'd have to do to play King's Cup is you'd have your drink that you drink out of and the drink that you pour into the cup.
Yeah, it's boring. You need everyone spit.
Is that where you play?
Yeah, you just need backwash. That's what it is.
Justin's
that's what
really big on spit.
I know, this is weird.
I don't know what's
mentioned
going
it
on
twice
this
already.
episode.
Yeah, okay, I need to get off this topic.
All right.
Yeah.
But speaking of COVID and parties and not seeing our friends, something we wanted to talk about today that we've both been going through is mental health during this year.
For sure.
Because this year has been a roller coaster.
Shitty.
It has
overall.
been crazy. I've had some really good moments in this year, though.
I still think so. I mean, we kind of touched on it last time that, you know, you thought it started out good, but really didn't.
Well, once I reflected on it, I was like, you know what? Didn't start out good, but we're in a good place now.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not good moments, of course. Like, there's times that are great, but overall, like, the bad moments always stick out worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just think it's important. Like, always check on your friends. I feel like that's a big thing. Like, you know, sending text every once in a while. And I'm so guilty of not being that person that checks on people or that wants text or cares about text. But also being guilty of the person that probably, like, you know, when someone does reach out, it feels good.
Justin's girlfriend tagged him in a tweet today.
That was very accurate.
And it was talking about Aquariuses, which we both are.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Which I don't identify with horoscopes. I'm sorry. I'm not that person. I can't keep up with it. It's not that I don't think it's cool. It's just that, like, your moon rising and sun rising and falling, and I'm just like, I don't even know, like, my time of birth.
Right.
And I think you need to know that for, like...
Oh, yeah, I think so.
I think you need to know, like, all the specifics of your birth date.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like looking it up. I don't even know my blood type. Like, that's how
I know my blood type. I knew it. It's on my... I have my app for my fitness thing. It's on there.
But what I was going to say is she tagged Justin in a tweet, and it was, like, something about Aquariuses being like, sorry, like, I'm not ignoring your text. I'm literally ignoring everybody.
And that's
it's not just you that I'm not replying to. It's everyone.
Yeah, and it took a long time for me to be like smart about replying to my girlfriend even. Like at those times I'd be like, you know what, I'm not texting anyone, and then my girlfriend would be like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, oh, she's shit.
Like, sir.
Like, after 7 years, you should probably be good at this, right? I got better at it. I'm good now.
I'm terrible at reaching out to people, and I'm terrible at replying to stuff. Like, unless it's about plans or, like, organizing something, I just don't, like, I'm not good at replying. And I wish I was, and I'm so sorry, but that's just the type of person I am.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I think I had, like, 47 misread texts right now.
I do try to reach out.
26, sorry.
On
I try to be a lot more
social media. Like, I try to DM our friends when they'll, like, post something like, oh, hey, miss you, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I do that. My really close friends, I do check in with them because I'm, like, consciously telling myself to do that.
Yeah, of course.
But I've definitely had moments where I'm just kind of like, damn, like, everyone's hanging out, and I'm not because I'm choosing not to, but, like, I kind of feel like I have no friends now.
Yeah.
And, like, that sucks.
Yeah, that's
true. And I
true.
feel like that has really contributed to me for, like, a lot of my low moments where I'm just kind of like,
oh, it's for sure.
is this my fault? Like,
but that's also the part of like the kind of like mental health stuff that you got to be like also like, yes, it probably is like you creating that situation, but you also can't be too hard on yourself too at the same time.
Yeah.
Because of that situation. So that's a big thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
And especially right now when everyone's so separate, like there is like no matter what anyone says, even if it's like bad, FaceTiming is not the same as hanging out in person. It'll never be. Like that's not the same thing. I mean,
like the thing that's shitty about living here is that like our like seasons are so extreme. Like our summer is hot. It gets to be 110 degrees in summer. And our winter, at night, it gets 40 degrees. So it gets pretty cold here.
I think last night was like 36.
It's not freezing. It doesn't snow, but it gets pretty cold. Yeah. And so it's like, there's not much time in the year where you can do a ton of outdoor activities. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of like, oh, like we can hang out outside. But then it's like, now I got to bring my fucking parka. Or like a blanket or something with me, or during the summer, like if we're gonna hang out outside, it needs to be in a pool, like in a body of water.
Yeah, that's
because otherwise I will melt.
You're sweating and getting attacked by mosquitoes.
And die. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, mosquitoes are the worst actually. But yeah, no. So yeah, there's a lot of hard things going on for everyone, and that's not the same thing. I mean, we're fortunate, like me and you both still work, and so we don't even have it that bad compared to other people like that lost their jobs.
Yeah, and like are struggling to pay rent and struggling with
addiction issues and things like
trying to just put food on the table. I can't even. So, yeah,
we're fortunate in that sense, but there is still like a something that everyone's going through right now, no matter what, no matter your privilege or whatever it is.
Everybody's struggling right now for sure. Yeah. Like it's not like everybody's struggles are going to be different. Right?
Yeah.
Depending on where you're at and like what kind of experience you're having through this year, but I think like we can all collectively say like we're struggling.
Yeah, for
you know, like there's almost like that's why they're making things like quarantine bingo because we're all doing the same things, trying to pass the time and like trying to like put that at the back of our mind. I still haven't made sourdough bread, and I'm very upset about it. Actually.
You haven't like stumbled on that project yet to make bread?
No, I want to, but I only had 1 week off, and I feel like making bread is just kind of like a process.
Yeah, I've never done this. I don't know, but yeah, probably.
It seems like a process, and I haven't like had a bunch of time at home to like really. I get 2 days off.
Yeah.
And usually those 2 days are spent like one day's getting groceries and prepping for the week, and then the other day is like hanging out with my parents.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't try to do bread right now either.
It's kind of like a commitment. Maybe during Christmas. That actually might be a really good idea.
You could do that in banana bread.
That and my loved ones will get my banana bread.
Yes.
As I've already talked about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Yeah, so that's the thing that I feel like everyone should like be kind of aware of and just care about everyone. Because I mean. I recently had actually a friend like reach out to me, and he told me some like stuff that like was really like to say the least like very moving, and it was something I didn't even know happened, and then he reached out to me and said like how big I was in his life, and it just kind of hit me like really hard. Like I was like, damn, like
that's cool.
Thanks, man. Like thanks, and then like because it was he's going through his own set of things right now.
Yeah.
So then he reached out to me for that reason because he's doing his own thing, and I had an impact on his life that I didn't think I never knew of, and that was like 10 years ago. And then he reached out to me like a week ago, and it was like I was having the shittiest day too. I remember, and then he did that, and I was like, "Holy shit, dude!" Like,
that's always nice.
You don't even realize how good of like how like much you can change someone's like
day or mood.
Life. Like that's how like serious it was. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it was a very awesome thing, or not awesome like in the sense of everything, but it was a very powerful, moving thing. And then that's why I contacted you, like, "Hey, we should kind of make sure everyone's good."
I haven't gotten any text messages like that.
Well, I'm not texting you about your mental health.
I mean, if anybody wants to reach out and tell me how important I am to them, now's the time. No, yeah, I think I do this every single year because I've worked in retail for like ever. Mm-hmm. And COVID or not, but this time of year we tend to, if you're working in customer service of any form, now I'm not technically in retail, but I still am working with the public constantly.
Yeah.
And people tend to be very demanding and very mean to service workers. Yeah. And it's a bunch of like, why aren't you working faster? Or why aren't you giving me what I want? Or why aren't you doing this? And it's just kind of like, can y'all just be nice?
It's arrogance.
Like, let's just be nice. I think that's the thing that we're saying, though, is, like, let's try to be nicer to each other because, yes, every year I have to remind grown-ass adults to stop being dicks to, like, service workers. Mm-hmm. But, like, this year especially, like, people who are working in the public are risking their health. Yeah. They're risking, if they live with their family, they're risking their family's health. And they're doing it because we have to.
Like, yeah, like you don't have a choice. Yeah.
Yeah, like we can't just choose to stay home because then we don't get paid.
Exactly.
So it's just like, remember when you're going into the grocery store and they don't have the loaf of bread that you wanted, not to yell at them because it's not their fault.
It's not, yeah.
I mean, you might be frustrated, and we've all been there. But, like, let's just try to remember that, like, it's not that person's fault.
Yeah, completely, yeah. And that should just be, like, a thing, like, pandemic aside, like always,
yeah, well,
it's not someone else's fault.
That's why I say it every year, because I think people start to forget and they get so stressed out during this time of year because they want to get everything that they want for their family or friends or whatever, and you get so wrapped up in that you just start forgetting, like, human decency.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like you also, like, you gotta, like, realize that person that's working right now is kind of just like you once they're not working. Mm-hmm. Well, when they are working, they're just like you, but
yeah,
except
for sure.
You're an asshole.
Yeah, and then, I mean, even on the flip side, like, I appreciate customers who are trying to be nice.
Yeah.
You know, like, I've seen people who work in the same industry as me or, like, in the same store as me, and, like, they get really frustrated because, again, they're going through all their own shit. They have to work, and they have to be in the public, and it's really stressful, and they're, like, worried about that. And a customer's trying to be nice, and they, like, snap on them.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
whoa.
Hey. Let's all just take a breath. Let's take a breather, you know. They're one of the good ones. They're trying to be nice to us. They're trying to help us out, you know. So I think it's just, like, on all fronts, it's going to be a stressful time of the year. It's a joyful time of the year, but it's also really sad for a lot of people because a lot of people don't get to see their families.
Yeah,
or be with their families
hard
or
this year.
do their traditions, you know. So, like, let's just be kind.
Yeah, that's the message. Be kind.
Be kind.
Just be kind. Be kind.
Or I'll fight you.
Whoa.
Just kidding. I think that's a good note to end that segment on.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about that.
I don't think we have much else to say.
No, yeah, just be nice, be kind.
But there is one thing that we've been wanting, that we talk about a lot, actually, because it comes up a lot.
Yeah,
cancel culture.
Oh, okay, I was like, are you going to talk about spit again? Because
no.
you're talking about spit.
I'm going to cancel you if you keep saying this. Hi, this is my podcast now. Justin's out. No, we cancel culture has become, like, a really big topic. I think this year especially, but, like, it's become a big topic over the last few years.
For sure. It sucks. Overall. I mean, there's things like that about, like, obviously, if someone rapes somebody, okay, yeah, that's pretty fucking serious.
I just think it's an interesting thing that, like, to me, what I see a lot is people criticizing someone for something they did, and then someone else is like, cancel culture, this is terrible, this is negative, and it's they're criticizing you.
There's a huge difference between cancel culture and accountability, or, like, criticism, because, like, I mean, like, well, for one, I don't know if cancel culture even really is a thing, like, as much as we call it a thing, because obviously...
I kind of feel like it's not. I kind of feel like
think about it. Yeah. How many times has our lame duck president right now been accused of rape and accused of sexual assault? He became president. He didn't get canceled. Joe Biden. He has his own allegations. Mm-hmm. Still became president. He's becoming president. Mm-hmm. He started us into a war that was horrible, Iraq, and he's becoming president. But now, if you criticize him on that, that's not being like, "Hey, you're attacking." No, it's like, no, dude, like, he's about to lead things. Okay, that's more politics.
But I've seen people say, like, "Oh, they're canceled," and I think it's just a phrase that then got, like, put out of context and then put into mainstream media, and it's like, oh, cancel culture is, like, this super toxic thing, and, like, why can't people have a chance, and, like, you should give grace to people, and it's like, I do.
Yeah.
But I think that there's situations where you can decide that this person has shown over and over again that they're a terrible person.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so at that point, they should be canceled.
But even then, it's like, it doesn't exist. It's like, it's not like, you know, like, how many times has Alex Jones done something so unbelievably stupid that it's like, oh my god, like, dude, like, you're doxing, like, Sandy Hook like families. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, people are going to these people's houses. Like, there's people in witness protection having to like move from state to different states because they're getting doxxed by Alex Jones' crazy fans. And it's like, but guess what? Like, yeah, you know, you can ban them off Twitter, you can ban them off YouTube, you can ban them off all these sites. But guess what? He has his own website that still gets hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of viewers, and he still is going to make a very good living.
And that's a good point, because no one's ever truly canceled. Like, they may be radical, they may, most of the general
Jeffrey Epstein was kind of canceled.
Well, but even then, though, like, I feel like he's dead, yeah, but like, I don't know. It's just such a weird concept.
Yeah. Well, no, realistically, like
there's always going to be other people
he wasn't really canceled because he was accused and people knew about it.
There's always going to be other people who think like that.
Yeah,
or who,
of course.
Or who benefit from that person's existence.
Yeah, exactly.
So they don't want them canceled. You know. So that's why I just kind of feel like cancel culture isn't real.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's I've always had that thought that it's not a real thing.
Like people say you're canceled, you know. But I just feel like the flip side of it is what irritates me is people being like, oh, cancel culture, like, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, like, the thing is I think the positive thing about cancel culture is, like, we're openly criticizing people who have gigantic platforms and are saying super fucking ignorant things.
Yeah.
Like, we should be doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
We should be holding people accountable, and we should be applying pressure on them, saying, like, this is not right.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Exactly, yeah.
Because why else would they fix it?
Yeah, no, why, they have no reason to.
Yeah.
The other thing that I love/hate about the talk about cancel culture is when people go, like, they're talking about some tweet or some video that got posted, like, 5 years ago or something, or whatever it is, like, or let's say, like, they're currently talking about stupid stuff. They're like, well, you're going against my rights because, you know, it's the First Amendment that I can say whatever I want to say. It's like, well, dude, first off, Twitter is not the public forum. Like, it's not a public utility. Like, Twitter is its own private business. If you go against their terms of service or go against whatever their rules that they just have to make at that time, they can do whatever the fuck they want to.
Yeah, I mean, when you sign up for something like that, you're also agreeing to
there is a talk to be said. I think there is a talk to have about, like, should Twitter be considered like a public utility because of how big it is? I mean, if the president's literally making laws and doing certain things on Twitter, firing people on Twitter, hiring people on Twitter, then maybe we should have a talk, because they're allowing that, so maybe we should have a talk about it being a public utility, and you should have First Amendment protection on it.
Well, I think...
But until then, it's not.
I think something, like, more, like, on a, I guess, more, like, personal scale that I've seen a lot, like, a lot of talk has been, and we talked about this, is, like, people saying, like, oh, like, Trump supporters, like, I mean, I don't know if this is cancel culture, but just kind of saying, like, I'm done with them. Done forever. Never talking to them again.
Isn't right either.
To each their own. But and this is what I mean by it's so situational. Because the person that's saying that, like, their actual livelihood may be threatened by the person that they're talking about who's a Trump supporter. And in that sense, it's like, I understand that. Cut them off. Never fucking talk to them again. But then it's like, there's people like you and me who are Latinx, I guess, Latino, Latina. But yet honestly, we're white passing. I don't think a lot of people, if they look at us, they're not like, oh yeah, you're hella Mexican. Because I am full Mexican, but no one ever knows that about me. Yeah, like, no one ever guesses that. But
my white friends will say I'm Mexican, my Mexican friends say I'm white.
But that means that we enjoy certain privileges that, like, other people don't.
Yeah.
And because of that, like, I don't love that I know people who are Trump supporters, but I do feel like I can keep them in my life because I can have those conversations where I'm opening them up to, like, for, like, bigger perspectives and, like, bigger things. But I can do that because they're not threatening my livelihood by existing or by what they're saying or what they're... And also, I'm not friends with racist people.
Yeah.
No. Like, outwardly, like, overtly racist people, I'm like, I will say shut the fuck up.
Of course, yeah, you have to.
100%. We're talking more so of the people who are in the middle and are voting because of the economy, and I'm putting quotations because I've had plenty of conversations where all I've had to say is, why?
Why?
And then it's like... and it's like, okay, we can talk about this then, because I feel like there's room to grow. There's room to learn here.
On top of that, too, it's like, if you're voting for Trump, like, understand why, the reason first, obviously. As anyone on the left, like, I think that's a huge thing that people on the left should do before
If you're voting for anyone, just please research why.
Yeah,
the policies, you know, their past, things like that, because all of that matters. The full picture matters.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's why, like, I mean, I had, like, yeah, I did vote for Joe Biden. I have a problem with Joe Biden's past. But, I mean, obviously he's better than Trump at the time, and whatever.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I want better than Joe Biden, no matter what.
100%. But I feel like there's people who vote for Trump who are like, well, I don't like Trump.
Yeah.
And, like, I agree. He's a shitty person. But, like, his policies align with what I believe in. And I'm just like, but, like, it all matters still.
And
like,
that's the thing, too, is,
me.
like, I think that even people that are on the far right, no matter what, like, there should be a thing where, because, you know, a lot of people say, like, oh, like, let's say the most, like, super Trumpian person you can think of, slightly racist maybe, like, whatever, they might say, like, certain things, like, I'm saying, like, the far, like, I'm not saying this is even, like, the saying that not all Trump supporters are racist, but every racist is a Trump supporter, it goes into that kind of, like, category. So let's say, like, those people that are, like...
Yeah, I feel like that's true.
So it's like, let's, like, they might say, oh, you know, like, Trump's got on the economy, and, you know, immigration is insane, you know, these Mexicans come here from other countries, and, you know, not always are good people, and they come and steal our jobs. It's like, well, you know, first off, it's not that Mexican person's fault for wanting a better life. That should be the end of that conversation, but usually it's not. You should be more like, hey, well, let's look at the corporation that's hiring these Mexican immigrants over American workers.
Well, and it's also not just Mexican people.
It's not, yeah, of course
There's
not.
So
but
many
that's the one that
cultures.
gets polarized and gets brought into the... Like, so it's like, I gotta understand, and then if you could talk to them about, like, hey, well, you know what, let's stop thinking about the blame about the person that has no rights in this country. Let's put it on the person that makes the policies and rights in this country, like the people that own these massive businesses that are going to do whatever they want, because even if they get in trouble for these things, they're going to pay their fee, they're going to do whatever they need to do, and they continue to do it.
Yeah.
So, like, never, like, always take the blame off the individual. I don't think the individual is the biggest issue. I always think it's the bigger person that's either controlling individuals or run, like, whatever the business is, or like it's... There's a lot more to it than just...
Well, and then too, it's like, I think like a lot of people that make those comments are ignorant and they haven't done the research. They're just listening to what media tells them. And it's like, you know how many people I've said that, like, you realize that, like, illegal immigrants pay taxes, right?
Oh, yeah.
They have a tax ID and they pay taxes.
Every illegal immigrant, we would destroy our economy. Like, they reap none of the benefits.
Well, and that's like the thing is they're like, oh, like, they don't help and, like, they don't benefit. But, like, no, they do. Like, they do pay taxes, and they don't benefit for what they're paying. They don't get any of those services.
Yeah, exactly. People have a misconception on that. They're talking about people, like, that have, like, and that's when they get into things where it's like, oh, well, you know, like, they overstayed their visa or something, so they still get back. But it's like, okay, but guess what? They were working for a country. They're making something. They're helping out the country regardless. They're helping out a lot more than they're taking, and our country would be a very far worse place without them than with them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we are starting to stray from the original point.
What was the original? Was it cancel culture?
This is how our conversations go. We
really
start at a point and then we go on a tangent and then we're like passionate and then we're like, wait, where did we come from? The point is that I don't believe that cancel culture is real. Like, I think it's real in the sense that, like, people talk about it and people criticize it or they don't care about it. But I think at the end of the day, you can't really cancel a person.
You can't. I mean, like, yeah.
And I think
well,
also,
you know what?
like,
let's say you can't cancel a person with a platform because there is there is a person who could get hurt from this so-called cancel culture. Let's say someone that's coming up in a field and people are, like, giving them recognition finally or whatever they're doing. They're becoming a doctor, they're becoming whatever they are, a comedian, whatever they're doing. And then something surfaces from their past from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That was, like I said, sexual assault, rape, whatever. Maybe that's a certain thing that should be addressed. Like, okay, well, you know what? I don't want you being a domestic abuser if you're going to be a cop. Just saying. You know, that's probably a bad idea. But let's say someone said something offensive, ignorant, offensive, whatever, 10 years ago, but now they can't become a doctor. And now they're not going to get hired from any job, like any job that goes with their field.
But I think,
so it's like,
and that's what I mean, though, is that, like, I think we have to separate, like, cancel culture from criticism, because a lot of the time that I see people talking about cancel culture, it's just a bunch of people criticizing someone. Yeah. And then there's someone going, like, you're gonna ruin this person's life because of what you're saying. Cancel culture is so toxic, and it's like, no, I'm sorry. If a white woman is making a super racist remark, and she's in the medical field, and we know
for sure,
that
people of
women
color.
of color die at a much higher rate because of that, and people of color, you know, black people, like they all are in danger because of that system and because of the racism, and it's like, no, at that point, like, she needs to be called out.
Exactly,
and if she loses her job, then she shouldn't have fucking made the comment.
Exactly, especially
like,
if it's like...
I'm sorry, but like, when it's an adult...
When it's an adult, yeah.
You made a conscious decision to be a fucking idiot.
Exactly. No,
so guess what? You're putting everything on the line.
Oh, no, the actions or the consequences of my actions are paying off. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like you put like a racist like nurse goes on TikTok and makes a fucking racist video.
You can't feel bad for her.
And then everybody, it's not
just
it's not just white women, because I know one woman was a Latina.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into that whole other episode, but she made racist remarks about black women, I believe, like being in pain when they're not really in pain.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is literally an issue that they talk about of why black women die at higher rates, because they're not believed when they're in pain, so they don't get the help that they need.
Yeah,
but this woman is on TikTok making a joke about it, and then I think she probably lost her job. I don't know. I hope she did.
But I think she was a student at the time.
I think at that point, you deserve to not be in... I don't want you anywhere near me. You deserve to not be in the medical field.
No, yeah.
Go sell some clothes at Marshall's. I can trust you a lot better there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing too. It's that there is that way of doing that. And
that's what we mean by situational.
Yes,
because there's different extents.
And like you said, adults. There's a difference between an adult and
then being a stupid fucking teenager.
Yeah. Like saying something stupid. Now, however, I will say in today's world, like 14-year-olds are a lot more aware of what's going on, because it's more prevalent now to be canceled and be more like, so if you're doing that now, there's a good chance that you're doing it because you want a reaction.
Well, I think too, like, there's a lot more
like, if you do blackface in 2020, like, you're an idiot. Like, that's just like, there's not even, it's not even, like, that's not like, let's make a funny joke about black. It's like, no, that's not even a thing. Like, let's not do that, because you know exactly what's wrong with that.
Yeah, I just feel, though, like, there's always going to be those sheltered kids who make the bad decision of doing something ignorant. I think like, at that point, though, it's like the reaction. It's like, hey, we're going to criticize you, and we're going to say, like, this, that was not right? Like, that was not good, don't do that.
Yeah.
And if you react as, like, oh, like, I have black friends, so it's fine. They said it was okay.
They said it was okay.
It's like, no, just say, like, take a deeper look within and go, why did I think that was funny?
Yeah.
And then also, like, why is that wrong? Let me do some research and figure out why. And I promise you, almost every single time, you will figure out, like, that was offensive, or there is a backstory as to why I should not have done that.
Yeah.
Even if you were completely ignorant in the beginning, and you really just thought it was a funny thing. Like, I think you have to take these criticisms seriously and go, okay, like, if multiple people are telling me what I did was wrong...
You're probably wrong.
Like, you're probably wrong.
Probably. I mean, there's...
Probably. There's a small percent chance that you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
But...
Yeah, it's funny, but...
And we've all done stupid things. I think that's something to understand, too, is, like, we've all made ignorant comments when we were younger. We were never this...
perfect shell of the person that we pretend to be. No, that's a huge thing too, and like, I think people should always be aware of that, and just, you know, just be smart when you're going after people. And accountability is different than counseling. And, you know, if someone says like, hey, like, you know, I don't think women are as smart as men. It's like, well, dude, like, let's look at let's look at studies.
Why do you
let's look
think
at
that, though?
Like, yeah, exactly. But then,
why do you feel that
don't
way?
immediately respond like, "Are you canceling me?" No, it's like, no, dude. Like, first off, you said something stupid, so let's talk about it. Do we resolve this? No. Okay, well, fuck you then.
But I think that, like, a lot of the times the reaction to criticism is to be defensive.
Yeah.
And that's why I do feel like. And that goes for anything.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
Any accusation that goes against you, like, I think a normal person's reaction is always going to be
defensive. Even when I know I'm wrong, I'll double down.
You're immediately going to go, like, wait, no, like, that's not how I meant it, or, like, I didn't do that, or that's not what I was doing. And then I think and this comes with maturity, too, but, like, the more mature thing to do is to take a step back from that and then go, okay, wait, like, let me calm down. and let me try to look at this from that person's perspective.
You gotta be more self-aware, for sure. Like, you have to reflect on yourself before.
Which I definitely was not able to do as a teenager.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, adults are a different thing. Kids are not.
But if you are an adult and you're making some stupid fucking comments, I will say something.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, too, is it's like, a lot of the times that I make comments on things, it's out of a place for wanting to understand.
Yeah.
But a lot of people take the comments that I make as like an attack or attitude, and sometimes it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is, but for the most part, it's just like, I'm trying to figure out why you would say that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, no, that's true. Like, for sure. Like, and like, I mean, I still make stupid comments all the time. Like, all the time I make stupid comments.
Oh, yeah.
But, thanks.
100%.
But there's a difference in being funny and joking around and just being, like, straight up, like, just offensive or just, like, and that's the thing, too, like, especially, like, in comedy, like, I mean, not that I'm fucking hilarious, but I'm pretty funny.
I'm funny.
That was pretty funny.
A lot of people say I'm funny.
Yeah, but especially in like a field like comedy, like when you hear about comedians getting canceled and stuff, like that's something too. It's like, well, dude, like a lot of the times, and like I think some comedians get criticism and stuff. And
who was it? Chris D'Elia? Is that how you say his name?
Chris D'Elia. Well, okay, that was a whole different thing.
He deserved to be canceled.
And I don't know the full situation, but from what I...
pedophile, isn't he?
Yeah.
Which is crazy because he
was like grooming
He played
women,
a pedophile on a TV show right before that came out.
He was like grooming women too, so I was like, oh, you're not 18 yet? That's okay, I'm still going to be your friend, and then when you're 18, what's up? Like,
which is still not okay.
That's not... No, that's grooming. That's horrible.
If you're a young man listening to this, just because the girl turned 18 does not make it okay.
Oh.
That's still creepy as hell if you're like,
especially too
much
like,
older than her, and you're like, oh, she's 18 now.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing too. It's like she's 18 now, so I
Wait
had
until
all
she's
those
legal.
those thoughts about her before she was 18. But guess
like
what?
I was definitely looking at her before that.
But like,
now
there's
she's
other things.
Legal.
Like when comedians say like stupid jokes that could be seen as like offensive to like either people of color or the transgender community or any kind of like community, like or any marginalized group like that. Like there's always like those comedians that do that. They always push those boundaries. But there's for sure a way to do it. Like if you do it and you back it into like, well, I know these groups are marginalized and I know these groups are oppressed.
Yeah, like you
then
still
it's
have
like
to
we just
acknowledge the reality.
Exactly. Like you know how like I forgot who it was that was doing school shooting jokes. It was hilarious. But like as long as you realize that school shooting is bad, don't shoot a school up.
Oh, yikes. Now, I'm a really big John Mulaney fan, and I feel like he's been pretty non-controversial for a very long time.
He got in trouble like a month ago.
Why?
For the election, because
of the jokes he was making?
But they were totally on par and totally fitting.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching it, and I was laughing, but then I was also like, I feel like a lot of people are going to be
They're going to say they're wrong, like especially because the
SNL's
like main audience is like the super like
they're like
not
telling everybody
progressive,
like
liberal.
go vote, and John Mulaney's like
it's an old man contest. Nothing's going to change.
Nothing's going to change. I don't know. Don't vote.
Nothing's going to fundamentally change for the people that
And John Mulaney has been open for like ever, saying like I'm not a political person, but he's also said like even though I'm not a political person, like I feel like I am in a point, and America is in a point where like I have to now engage in this because it's so crazy.
Pretty vocal about being a Bernie supporter.
Yes.
For a while, yes. But I mean, he wasn't like, other than saying like go vote wearing a Bernie shirt or something, like that's not being like too political. That's just saying like, oh, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
It's funny. But
cancel culture is crazy. This year is crazy. I don't know, man.
Oh no, man.
That's it. That's been my slogan for the year.
I mean, there's like takeaways from this is, I don't know, drink beer, be nice, be kind.
Be nice. Try to give grace to people when you can. I think that's been my biggest takeaway from this year. This year I've really been trying to not like when I get angry or upset at someone for saying something stupid, instead of like just taking that and just be like, I'm not talking to them anymore. Yeah. It's like, let's talk about this. Like, and the more of those conversations that I'm having, the more that I'm learning like what people don't know, and it's actually kind of crazy because it's like things that you would think that's common sense, things that you would think is common knowledge. They're like, I've never heard of that,
exactly,
or I've never experienced that, or I've never seen that, and you're just like, what?
Yeah, No, yeah, exactly. That's why it's so important to have those conversations about certain things.
So that's what I've learned from this year.
I learned this year it could always be worse, and it's gonna get worse. So just quit. I'm just kidding. No. No, it could always be worse.
Someone check in on Justin after this episode. I don't know how he's doing.
Just stop. No, it can always be worse, and there is someone whatever you're going through, there is someone going through it a lot worse. Not saying that your problems are
but
not
also,
valid.
whatever you're going through, there's probably one of your friends that's going through the same thing.
Exactly.
And neither of you want to be a burden to each other, but you should just reach out because it might probably actually help both of you.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Just reach out and say, fucking man up, bro. Just be a man.
On that note.
No. Stop wearing dresses.
On that note, let's review this beer.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I love it.
Yeah. It's not bad at all. I'll definitely be drinking more.
Shout out to Tioga.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Tioga's
I'm pretty sure most of the people that follow us as of now are from Fresno or have been to Fresno.
Yeah.
But if in the future, whoever's watching this, you're not from Fresno, if you ever visit this very beautiful place that we call home, Tioga Sequoia, top-notch brewery.
For sure. I think they have one in Merced too, right?
I think they're opening
or
one
Modesto. One of the two.
They're opening one in Merced at
Merced.
the Tioga, the old Tioga Hotel.
Cool. Yeah. So and they have on top of that, they have the best beer. Like by far, my favorite IPA is a German Sherman IPA. It's the best. Mm-hmm. And it could be like a hometown bias, but it's my favorite. I've had a lot of IPAs in my life, and that's my favorite. This beer is a great wheat beer. Like Blue Moon. No. I mean, not that it's horrible, whatever.
No, I'm sorry. It's disgusting. I'm sorry. No, and I used to drink it when I first started drinking.
Are you canceling Blue Moon?
I'm canceling Blue Moon. I started drinking it when I first started drinking.
It's your first introduction.
Because it was fruity and it didn't taste bad. It wasn't bitter. But now that I actually drink like an actual adult, we don't drink Blue Moon anymore.
Yeah.
We do not buy that.
If you're going to go for a wheat beer, Half Dome, for sure. It's good. It's light, too, dude. You can have a couple of these and not even get a buzz, which is kind of cool.
We might not.
Well, maybe, yeah.
But some people probably would.
I was like, right now, this is nothing's going on right now. I mean, it's 4.7%. That's not that great.
It's a nice light beer. Yeah. Tioga's an amazing place. We love all the people there. Yes. They have a beer garden in Fresno. So if you ever want to go try their taps, it's downtown. You should. But yeah, please
support them.
Please let us know what you think of this new episode and the last one. We are open to suggestions. Yes. I'm sure at some point we would love to start answering any questions that you guys have or any topics that you'd like us to touch on.
Yeah. Of course,
because we only have so much going on up here. So.
Always open for suggestions.
No one's home.
100%. That's so true. We're always open to suggestions. Honestly, I'm so Kelsey usually comes up with these right before we go on. She's like, hey, we should talk about this probably.
Right before. Few days.
Okay.
Come on, I'm more organized.
Well, we talk about it, and then it's I forgot. I had to check my messages. I forgot what I said we should talk about.
Okay, that happened today. Last time I was ready to go.
Yeah, you're ready last time. No, we were ready today. It was fine. We got a fast start today.
We love the feedback.
Yeah, it's great.
Good or bad, honestly, because we like to know what we need to work on, and like I said,
don't say bad.
We're gonna get better every single episode. Hopefully the lighting's better in this one.
I think so. We just got the cool little ring light.
Hopefully at some point we will have a banner behind us. We're working on getting a logo. That might be actually up by the time this releases.
That'd be awesome. If not, then
if not, it'll be very soon.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's great, yeah.
Let us know what you want to hear from us. There will be a in the near future, local collab with another podcast.
Yes, I guess.
We'd like to go on his, and we'd like to have him on ours. So yeah, if you have any suggestions of people to bring on, it will always be COVID safe.
Yeah, we'll never do anything
Yeah, but yeah.
Won't take King's Cup and won't spit in anyone's mouth.
On that, good night. Have a great day. Drink some beer for us.
Drink some beer. Support all your local businesses.
Support local. Shop
wherever
local.
You are.
That's it. That's my last note.
Yes. Thank you.
Peace.
Good night. Cool.